Imagine a park, bathed in the glow of the moonlight. It's a scene that is both breathtaking and bone-chilling, where the veil between the ordinary and the extraordinary seems to thin. The moon, full and radiant, casts a silvery glow over the park, transforming it into a spectral playground. The trees stand like silent sentinels, their leaves rustling ominously in the cold, biting breeze. The moonlight paints long, dark shadows that stretch out over the park, creating pockets of darkness where anything could be hiding. These shadows, they dance and flicker as if engaged in a macabre ballet, choreographed by the very night itself. Now let your mind wander to the lonely swing creaking softly in the wind. It sways back and forth, an eerie metronome marking the passing of time. And there, near this swing, a figure emerges from the shadows, a girl, pale as the moonlight that bathes her. Her eyes, vacant and unseeing, seem to stare into the very soul of the night. There is an ethereal quality about her, as if she's not entirely of this world. She hovers there, an apparition of innocence lost, her presence casting an even deeper shadow over the park. She doesn't speak. She doesn't move. She just hovers, her ghostly figure illuminated by the moon's cold light. Her silence is louder than any spoken word, her stillness more unsettling than any sudden movement. She is an enigma, a mystery wrapped in the moonlit shroud of the night. The park under the moonlight, once a place of laughter and joy, now feels somber, eerie. The cold breeze carries whispers of forgotten stories, of spectral laughter and unseen eyes watching from the shadows. It's a place where the line between reality and fantasy blurs, where the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and the impossible seems just within reach. Among the shadows, her presence alone brings an unsettling chill to the atmosphere. Now our focus turns to the girl, pale as the moon, with eyes as vacant as a forgotten house. She's an ethereal presence in the moonlit park, a spectral figure that seems as much part of the night as the stars above. Her skin is as pale as the moonlight that bathes her, casting an otherworldly glow that sets her apart from the earthly surroundings. Her hair, as dark as the night sky itself, hangs limply, framing a face that is hauntingly beautiful and disconcertingly vacant. Her eyes, her eyes. They are as empty as a long-abandoned house, devoid of the spark that signifies life. Yet, they hold a certain allure, a magnetic pull that draws you in. They are the windows to a soul that seems to be lost in time, stuck between the realm of the living and the dead. She's alone, solitary in her ghostly beauty, but there's a peculiar fascination in her demeanor, an unusual interest in a lonely swing that sways gently in the cool night breeze. She hovers near it, her feet barely grazing the dew-kissed grass. The swing, like her, seems to be suspended in a timeless dimension, detached from the world that carries on unaware of its ethereal occupant. Who is she? Why is she here in this park at this hour? The questions hang in the air, thick as the fog that's slowly creeping in. Her identity is shrouded in mystery, her purpose unclear. Is she a lost child misplaced by time and forgotten by the world? Or is she a spectral apparition, a ghostly reminder of a life once lived? She's a puzzle, a riddle wrapped in moonlight and mystery. Her presence adds an uncanny layer to the already eerie atmosphere of the park. As the moon continues its journey across the star-studded sky, one can't help but wonder about the girl who is as pale as the moon, with eyes as vacant as a forgotten house. Is she a lost soul trapped in the realm of the living? Or is she something even more sinister? The shadows in the park aren't just ordinary shadows. No, these are not your everyday run-of-the-mill shadows that merely mimic the forms of what blocks the light. These are shadows that seem to possess a life of their own. They lurk in the corners and cavities of the park, concealing themselves in the most unexpected places, waiting for the right moment to spring into action. As the moon casts its silvery glow upon the park, these shadows seem to awaken. They twist and twirl, they caper and cavort, casting eerie silhouettes against the moonlit landscape. They are not bound by the laws of light and space that govern ordinary shadows. These shadows dance not in response to the shifting light or the swaying trees, but to some unseen, unheard rhythm that only they comprehend. Look closely, and you might catch them shifting form. One moment, they might resemble a gnarled old tree, its branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The next moment, they might take on the form of a hunched creature with glowing eyes, skulking in the underbrush. The more you observe, the more you realize. These shadows are not mere absence of light. They are entities, sentient and alive, thriving in the darkness. These shadows do not just instill fear. They feed off of it. They grow larger and darker with every shiver that runs down your spine, every bead of cold sweat that trickles down your forehead. They revel in the dread they inspire, their dance growing wilder and more chaotic with each gasp of fear they elicit. But the most unsettling aspect of these shadows isn't their dance or their changing forms. It's the fact that they seem to be in tune with something beyond our realm of understanding. They don't sway with the wind, nor do they waver with the flicker of the moonlight. No, their rhythm, their movement, their existence is governed by something far more chilling. These shadows, they dance not to the tunes of the wind, but to the spectral laughter that fills the air. In the deafening silence, a sound arises, spectral and haunting. It's a laughter that doesn't belong to the living, a mirthless echo that permeates the still night air. Its source is untraceable, yet it reverberates around the park, reflecting off of the dew-kissed leaves and the cold stone statues, amplifying its ghostly resonance. Imagine a laughter that doesn't bring joy, but instead a chilling sensation that creeps down your spine. It's not the infectious giggle of a child at play or the hearty chuckle of someone enjoying a good joke. No, this laughter is devoid of any warmth or happiness. It's a hollow sound that seems to mock the tranquility of the night, a spectral howl that sends shivers down your spine. This laughter is like a ghostly wisp in the wind, twisting and turning, never staying in one place. It seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at the same time, a phantom echo with no discernible origin. It's as if the park itself is laughing, its voice carried on the breeze, rustling through the trees and echoing off the silent playground. Each echo of this spectral laughter adds another layer to the terrifying atmosphere. It's a soundtrack to the dance of the ominous shadows, a chilling symphony that heightens the sense of dread. It's the sort of laughter that lingers in the air, a ghostly reminder of the ethereal girl and her lonely vigil by the swing. And just as suddenly as it starts, the laughter stops, swallowed by the vast emptiness of the night. But its echo remains, a spectral whisper that haunts the moonlit park. It's a sound that you can't shake off, a chilling reminder of the park's eerie atmosphere. The laughter, devoid of joy, chilling to the bone, leaves an echo that lingers long after it fades. Even in its absence, the spectral laughter continues to cast an unsettling spell, its haunting melody forever imprinted in the eerie silence of the moonlit park. All these elements come together, casting an unsettling atmosphere over the park. It's as though the universe conspired to turn this ordinary park into a chilling tableau of terror, using the moonlight, an ethereal girl, ominous shadows, and spectral laughter as its eerie paintbrushes. Firstly, we have the moonlit park. Picture this, the soft glow of the moon, casting long, strange shadows that seem to move and shift just out of the corner of your eye. It's a scene that should be tranquil, even beautiful. But in our tale, it's the backdrop for something far more sinister. This moonlight doesn't bring clarity or calm, but rather it distorts reality, making the familiar seem unfamiliar and allowing the mind to conjure up all manner of nightmarish possibilities. Then there's the ethereal girl, a spectral figure pale as moonlight itself with vacant eyes that seem to look right through you. She hovers near a lonely swing, her presence an eerie paradox. Children are symbols of innocence and joy, yet this girl is anything but. Her image is chilling, a ghostly apparition that sends a shiver down your spine. The ominous shadows add another layer to the horror. They dance in the moonlight, creating a macabre ballet that is both entrancing and terrifying. These aren't your ordinary shadows. They have a life of their own and seem to be hiding secrets too dreadful to reveal. And finally, we have the spectral laughter. It's not the joyful sound that laughter should be. No, this is a hollow echo, a ghostly giggle that seems to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. It punctuates the silence, a chilling reminder that in this park, things are definitely not as they seem. In the eerie Moonlit Park, terror takes the form of a pale, ethereal girl, ominous shadows, and spectral laughter. This is a place where fear comes out to play. Each element blends seamlessly with the next, creating a horrifying experience that would make even the bravest of hearts skip a beat. So, if you ever find yourself in such a park, remember, sometimes the most terrifying horrors are the ones we can't quite see, but can only feel.